Hey everyone, thank you for coming by my channel. If you like the video, please hit subscribe and also hit the bell, and that will give you the notification of when my videos or lives happen. I wanted to do my very first story time, my real story time, and I wanted to do it because I started following a YouTuber called Sir Willow. He does Sir Willow. Oh goodness. He used to be a theme park worker, and he worked at Disney for a lot of years and a couple other theme parks. And he tells his stories and stuff. And I'm like, I have a story. It's a sad one, but a happy one all at the same time. So, I think I will tell it. Back in the day, I used to work for, a gentleman who was a wonderful employer. And then he sold, after he passed away, his family, no, he didn't pass away. He was not doing well. So he sold his theme park. And he sold it to Six Flags. And I worked for Six Flags for 2 years. I worked for him for a year and a half, 2 years, and I worked for the Six Flags company for 2 years. And I was a ride operator. I operated every ride in the park but 2. Wait a minute. No, I think I operated every ride. I operated every ride in the park. It was the year after when they put, the year after that I decided not to go back, that they put in the 2 new rides that I didn't operate. So, anyway, but I mainly had 3 rides that I would operate on a regular basis. And, excuse me, they were all pretty dangerous in their own right. And so this story time is going to be a story about a time that I saved a 2-year-old's life on my ride. The ride that I operated, you had to be 48 inches tall to ride alone, or you had to have an adult with you. And not someone 48 inches to ride with you. You had to have an adult with you. So it's a ride that you sit in, and it just has a bar that goes across, and it spins at an angle, and then it comes back and around and around and around like this, and then the ride itself spins as well, and then it goes up in the air, and then it comes down. Well, I had just loaded everybody on the ride, and well, let me also say that our gates that we had at the time were not safe. And I had complained to management about changing the gates several times, because all it was a chain that went across, and it just said exit on the exit part and enter on the enter part. So me as a ride operator on this ride, we had to be very vigilant of everything around us, the whole entire ride, not just the ride itself, but everywhere around us. And I had asked management several times to please get us a new gate for this ride, because I'm afraid that some idiot is gonna come up through the exit or try to go through, and they're gonna get hit by this 4-ton ride that spins 30 miles an hour. So I had just gotten done telling everyone the rules, and I had just started the ride, and we have to wait a couple of cycles for it to get up to speed before we're allowed to lift it and bring it down. And it was getting up to speed, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, And I'm glad that the ride was where it was at the time that it happened. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a 2-year-old run up under my exit chain, and ran towards the ride as it was going. I took my foot out so fast and ran to that little girl. And as I was running to her, a lady that was on the ride tried putting her hand out to push the little girl away. And I snatched that little girl up and ran towards the exit the fast as I could. And luckily, nothing happened. The mom was like, "Oh my gosh, she just got away from me, blah, 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 blah." And this is a reason why, if you're going to let your 2-year-old walk around, I like the dog leashes. You know, people frown on the dog leashes. You know, the ones that you strap around your 2-year-old's arm, your child's arm, or you put on a backpack and you have them leashed to you. This is why I like those, for this reason. You know, stuff like this. But I sat down and I was just hugging this little girl. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. It was just, if you guys knew the ride that I'm talking about, you'd understand that if this ride had hit her at the speed it was going, it would have killed her. It would have gotten her because of her height. It would have gotten her right in the head, and it would have killed her. And I gotta say, that was the scariest day I have ever had as a ride operator. And management came by. I was sitting down, and because someone had called management, and we told them what happened, and we had to make out an incident report and all of that. And I was just shaking, visibly shaking. I was like, my whole body was like doing this. And management's like, you got to get back to work. I'm like, my ride almost killed a 2-year-old. And I was crying, and they're like, you need to stop. You need to get back to work. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my language. Are you kidding me? She's like, we need you to operate the ride. Sorry. The girl's fine. You can get back to work. I'm like, oh my God. But thankfully, everybody on the ride and everybody that was waiting in line, you know, they saw what happened. They knew what happened. So they understood that I had to take like a good 5-10 minutes to compose myself before I operated the ride. Like, I was shaking that bad. And, you know, as I was holding the little girl and running to the gate, to the chain to get out of the ride before it came by where we were, because when you stop it, it doesn't just automatically stop, it swings. And I managed to grab her and get to the chain, get to the exit before it swung in that area. And I just heard a lot of clapping and whistling, you know, after the gasps. And it was that day lives vividly in my mind. It's like there's not a day that goes by that I don't recall that memory. And it was a horrifying day for me. I've only had 2 horrifying days as a ride operator, a theme park worker, and that was the worst. The second one wasn't about a person that, you know, would have gotten killed or anything. It was about a parent being a jackbutt to their daughter on my ride, like forcing her to ride my ride. and she was like 5 years old. And if I don't know if you guys know what the rotor is, it's a cylinder that spins like wicked fast, and you stick to the wall, the floor drops, and you're stuck to the wall. So, but I'll get into that some other time. If you guys want to hear that, mention it down in the comments, and I will definitely tell that. But I wanted to let you guys know this story about how I managed to save a 2-year-old from a ride. Six Flags ride, by the way. This happened at Six Flags because Six Flags bought it. And only after that incident did they change the gates. It's like, yeah. They didn't do it that summer. They did it the following year. So I had to go all summer with the chain and not a regular gate. Oh, wait. What they did to fix it for that year, they had a chain that had other chains hanging down from it that went across. It's like, that doesn't fix it, because the chains move. People could still get under it. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yes, tonight is the Thanksgiving Eve, so I will hopefully be talking to you guys maybe tomorrow. I might do a video for Thanksgiving. I don't know. It all depends on how I'm feeling. But anyway, peace. Thanks.